Welcome back. Now, budding author Zoleka Madolo's book, Killed by My Precious Rose of Sharon, is based on gender-based violence towards men. It's quite an eye-opening book because it does not just focus on what the society is more vocal about, but what actually takes place within our society. The author joins us now on Zoom to unpack her debut book. Zoleka, very good morning to you. A warm welcome to Morning Live. What inspired you to write a book about gender-based violence towards men?
Hello, I'd like to greet everyone who's watching and greet you, of course. What inspired me to write a book is not just what the society expects. Because, one thing about us, we always tell stories that we think align with what people expect to hear or what people expect to, listen to. But for me, it was more of telling a story that nobody, is more comfortable to talk about, but just, something eye-opening.
Speak to us about the research that you conducted into compiling this book and what that entailed.
Well, the research was, all over me because it was something that was happening, within my society, within my community, if I can say so. It's something that I had seen happening. And, it was so easy for me to refer into it, take a couple of inspirations here and there and then, making a story out of it. Because I was inspired by, a picture that I'd seen. I first saw a picture of my book cover first before I actually wrote the book. And, I was inspired. I was like, there's a story behind this. And people would like to hear such stories because, we don't get to hear such stories more often.
And take us through that book cover that you are referring to and how, it translated into what the book finally became.
Well, the book cover on its own, as you can see, it's a hand of a man. I have it with me right now. It's a hand of a man holding, a rose, and this rose is piercing through this man. So it symbolizes you holding onto something that is killing you, but you're holding it because, it's something precious to you, and then you're holding it, but it's piercing through you. It's actually, murdering you, or it's killing you, So, that's how it actually, work together with the book.
What do you think are some of the most common, misconceptions about gender-based violence towards men?
I think gender-based violence towards men is something that is not, often spoken about because men are embarrassed or people are embarrassed that, this strong man that we see is actually getting abused by someone, by a woman or by anybody. And men always love to be seen as strong, but they don't have to be seen as strong. If something is happening to you, it's happening to you. And even as for women, it's not happening to them because they weak, but it's happening to them, So I think that the misconception is that people, when somebody gets abused, they're seen as weak, but nobody invites that for them.
And what steps do you think can be taken to prevent gender-based violence towards men?
Well, I think it has to start. It has to start with the mind. We have to create more campaigns for men, and we have to create more initiatives that work towards creating a certain mentality, even with the abusers. That's what I always say, that when somebody abuses you, it's something that starts with the mind. It starts with the mind. When somebody does something, it starts with the mind. So whatever it is that is being done, it has to penetrate the mind. It has to work with the mind, and making sure that the mind is at the right track.
What has been the reaction from men about your book?
Well, the reaction has been okay. They've been very supportive. They've supported the book. They've bought the book and they've read the book. I've received positive feedbacks from men and people telling me that such things happen, but we can't see that they're happening because one thing about abuse, it comes in different forms. It doesn't just come in just a physical form, but it can come in different kinds of forms. So we only see it as maybe physical, whatever. But yeah, men do get abused, but they don't take that into, they don't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
How much of that has to do with men being taught or being wired to be strong?
I think when a man is raised, they are raised to be strong. They are raised to be, don't cry, don't talk about your issues. So when something is bottling up inside of you, it normally it does come out. At the end of the day, like eventually it comes out, and for them, when it comes out in a negative form, in a negative way, because the way that they express how they feel. So whatever it is that they do, it's expressing how they feel. So men are vulnerable, and man cannot talk, man cannot vent, man cannot post about their problems or whatever. Men are strong, men are making themselves to be strong, which is good, but it's also okay to actually talk about whatever it is that is, that is affecting you, or that is affecting you in a negative way, that is happening into you. So you don't have to, keep quiet, because men do keep quiet about stuff.
And what do you hope your readers take away from your book?
I hope they take away the fact that we need to be more united. We need to work together. Gender-based violence is something that is happening. It's been happening for a very long time. It started from early years. Our parents would or our grandparents would get beaten up by their partners under the name of discipline or whatever, and that's not good. So, and they actually accepted it because they were getting disciplined. It came in a form of a discipline, but I think people need to take away the fact that gender-based violence can happen to anyone, and gender-based violence is something that will forever, happen. So if we work together, maybe we can bring change. And whatever it is that we do, it needs to start with the mind. It needs to start with how the person thinks. Whoever it is, it needs to start with the mind. We need to create more campaigns. We need to create more initiatives to help men, to help women, to help children, and be more of a society than man and woman, than children, than whoever. But we need to be more of a society and work together than working against each other.
And just quickly, Zoleka, what were the challenges that you faced when writing this book?
One of the challenges that I faced was it was so emotionally draining for me personally. It was draining because I had to wear the character. I had to, feel all the feelings. I had to go through the feelings to make sure that I portray them in such a manner that people get to hear what I'm trying to tell, the story that I'm trying to tell. Because, storytelling is something that I really, really love. So I had to wear the character, and it was not easy for me. After having written the book, it was like I need like a fresh air to like forget whatever it is that I was writing about, all the tears and everything. There were chapters that made me cry, like literally. But I really enjoyed the book. After writing it, I really enjoyed it. But in writing in general, one of the challenges that I faced was being young, being Black, and being woman. It's not easy. Not easy.
Okay, Zoleka, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with the book going forward. Zoleka Madolo speaking to us about a book which is about GBV towards men. All right.